This film, I think all of Graham's films, it goes without saying in some ways, that they have a lot of depth and intensity and massive character development and really human characters, right? These are people who you could, meet walking down the street. And to kind of get a glimpse of their story and their lives, I think, especially in this film, the imperatives that he chose just were really extremely deep. And to set it in a COVID pandemic as the backdrop, that really just made the whole story much more complex, because now you have characters that are getting closer, but in some ways couldn't be further apart, just because they're confined to this one space. And I think even though it's a smaller cast, everybody has a very unique and intense storyline. And you ultimately really feel, with your heart deeply for all of these characters. So that I think just all the different narratives converging and happening, and the complexity and depth in the story, that's what really attached me to this film.
Genuinely, working with Graham was a great experience because he set the tone for what this piece was going to be, what this set was going to be, what working together was going to be like. I think my initial impression of Graham was seeing how passionate he was about this material. He wrote it, how could you not be? He spent so much time putting these words on these pages, and to see him see us bring these characters to life let us know that what we were doing was right, that we were heading in the right direction. So while there was clearly this passion and this care for this project, there was also an easygoing attitude and a calm that helped us, I keep saying it, but helped us trust each other.
Graham is one of the most intentional directors I've ever worked with, personally. He knows what he wants, and he knows what he needs to do to get it, and that's something I really respect, and something that I truly think that is so unbelievably special about working with Graham as a director and writer is the fact that Graham is so emotionally connected to the characters that he has written, specifically in this one. And so when I felt like I had questions about Max or any of the other characters, or any of the other actors had to ask Graham any questions, he knew so much about that person, and he had so much fleshed out from that character that he had already lived in and felt. I just remember so many times talking to Graham about where our characters were coming from, and I could see the discourse within Graham.
Working with Graham was very hands-on. He was super, super passionate about this project. I mean, it was his love child. So we wanted to do the best that we possibly could with it, or else face his wrath. But you could just tell how much he cared about the story that he was creating and that we were all creating together. I don't know how he was able to direct, produce, write everything. I'm probably missing a lot of them, but just be able to have that level of focus and care, and to be able to carry that giant camera. I was just so astonished at every moment, really.
Oh, Graham definitely allowed me to be something. Graham kept me on the tracks. Graham had ideas, and he listened to my ideas, and we got to collaborate on those. And whenever I felt like I was going astray or I needed help with something, he was there to kind of like nudge me back on. Could answer my questions. He knew exactly what I needed.
I feel like I wouldn't get down. I feel like I would stand over him.
Okay.
He gave space for growth. He allowed the actors to feel like they had a voice, which is not always the case, to have opinions about their characters. He was willing to discuss and change things if necessary. He was just so open, you know, not only writer, director, DP, editor, all the things. So on set, you know, he created this launching pad for us to fly, and then trusted the actors to then be able to just follow them. And on the day, if anything, if we needed things, there, was ready to go, was ready to communicate, was ready to hash things out or talk things out if we needed anything, any clarification. But I think we created such a trusting bond prior that he was able to let us fly, and he was able to just to capture us in the moment, which I think was so beautiful.
So I think he has to have his shirt off and socks off too. Yeah, because you're not going to want a haircut with a shirt on.
He is very much a planner,
Alex, you can drop the hair on.
and there are things that are planned out to a T, but I think once we get into the moment and we have an idea for something, he lets us run with it, which is really, really nice and liberating as an actor, because you don't always get that.